Hi, I encourage you all to sit back and relax because this may well be a longer talk. Fatigue, tiredness, weariness, call it what you will. It's hard for us. It is a fact substantiated by several studies that we survivors of brain injury feel fatigue quicker than people without brain injury. One study found that fatigue is found in 43 to 73% of survivors. That's a lot. There are many reasons for this. First, we survivors have slower information processing. That is our ability to take in information from our senses. What people's brains were designed to do best is to quickly sort out and take care of information as it comes in from our senses, and this is one place where we falter. Second, we survivors also have increased problems with dividing our attention. This means we have more trouble when we have to think of more than one thing at a time. Now, I believe, and it's backed by multiple studies, that no one focuses on multiple things as well as they can concentrate on one thing. I call this the myth of multitasking, and a man named David Crenshaw wrote a book on the subject with that title, named Thief. Trying to multitask also makes for errors in what we're doing. Besides that, we never get in the zone for any of our multiple tasks. It's actually best to do things in batches so that we can better focus on the particular task at hand. There was a 2010 French study that found that people don't have that much trouble dealing with two things at one time because it's thought that the two sides of our brain can each focus on one thing. The frontal lobes of our brain are assigned the task of paying attention, and each of them has no trouble doing one thing at a time, but more than two things total becomes an issue. Multitasking, or really trying to multitask, causes several problems. There's a problem with inattention blindness. Now this one's good, okay? One study found that 75% of students who walked across campus talking on their cell phones did not notice a clown riding a unicycle nearby. Whoa. Another study from UCSF found that people aged 60 to 80 had more trouble when studying a scene and then having that scene switch. They could not recall the study speed nearly as well. Yikes! That hits way too close to home for me. This dividing of our attention has been shown to hurt our relationship with people, as we discount the other person when we try to multitask. It can make us overeat, as when we are trying to multitask, we don't process that we're full. It's said that we shouldn't watch TV when we eat, but instead focus on the food. And this multiple focusing can harm our performance on creative problem-solving tasks. Trying to multitask also stresses us out physically. Our heart rate increases when we are on high alert from the stresses of trying to keep multiple balls in the air. This can lead to self-esteem issues and depression, and we don't need that. As you have probably experienced, we survivors have problems focusing our attention. We also have more inconsistency of performance, especially when tired. I can vouch for this. When I don't get enough sleep or I try to do too much in a day, I have significant problems attending to my life. Fatigue has been found to have worse effects on women, but I have no input on this. But what causes this fatigue? One study found that it can be related to the mental effort necessary to overcome attention issues and slow processing. This is called the coping hypothesis. And from my personal experience, I believe that this is at least a major factor in fatigue. It takes so much energy just to keep afloat, to keep all the balls in the air. The increased fatigue seems unavoidable. We have to focus constantly to keep track of our life, what just happened, what's going on now, and what we need to do later. I hope I've given you enough information on multitasking to veer you away from even trying it. Now, let's move on to how to maximize our ability to focus. I've written before about rabbit trails. Starting out doing one thing, then jumping to another when a new thought jumps in, then hop into yet another when another thought squirms its way in. This is one of my chief personal time thieves. I have found that there are some habits that have helped me steer away from the multitasking morass. The first is to write it down. When a stray thought interrupts us, it's best to note it down on a piece of paper, a notebook that we use for such meanderings, or better yet, in Pete. I've written about Pete before, and I will again. But that isn't the topic here. Hey, I'm not trying to do too much at once. Second, if someone interrupts us when we are doing something, just tell the person that you'll get back to them when you're ready. And put that thing into Pete, or however you plan to do your things to do. People are busy everywhere, and they will understand when you explain you're doing something else at the moment. By noting it down, you make follow-up possible. And third, schedule your activities. This serves two purposes. It helps you structure life, and with structure, we can get much more done, thereby giving us more time to do what we are built to do. That is, to figure out ways to make our lives easier and more fulfilling. That's what it's all about, along with some hokey pokey. There's more, but I've gabbed on too long already. Toodaloo!